Hello. I thought we'd have a little bit of a midweek geek this week, as two of us are jetting off to Canada next week, aren't we? Aren't we, Aman?
Jealous.
Yeah. We're off to Clericon, so I won't be doing anything online related next week at all. Apart from maybe a few little shorts of things we're getting up to. So we shall see. We'll see if there's anything interesting happening. But
yeah, it was good when you did them last year.
I just people were commenting last year that how ill I looked in some of them, and it's because I'm stood in sunlight with a white building beside me reflecting onto my naturally pale skin, so it just made me look really ghostly. So
will I look like extra brown then?
No, you'll look like me, and I'll look like a ghost. So. And I need to upload a video of the onion eating continent.
I need to see that.
You need to enter it.
No, I don't like raw onion, at least.
I don't like raw onion.
I just can't imagine biting into an onion like an apple. It just doesn't seem appealing.
I didn't do it because I like it. I did it because I'm a competitive little sod who just wanted to go, hey, Brits can win at something. And I did. So we'll see how I won. Beard meets food is going to turn up, and smash me. No, I'm joking.
You were just there torturing dungeon ministers, little kids. That's what it was.
Yeah. Yes. But I do still have my trophy. It's up there. It's pride of place. Right, it's on my top shelf. So excellent. Maybe I'll get another one. Maybe not. It all depends. It all depends on my stomach, though, because my stomach is a bit of a what's the word when you change your mind a lot?
Prevaricating?
Indecisive.
Indecisive is a good one,
yeah. It's very changeable, and it has been extremely changeable these last few weeks. A woman, you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
You said what we were all thinking.
Fickle is the word I was looking for. My stomach can be very fickle. And it was fine last year in Canada, and I didn't eat all particularly healthy stuff the whole time. We had lots of burgers and all sorts. I did avoid anything creamy until the last day, but I insisted on having pancakes. Do have some dairy in them, but I had to have pancakes while I was in
what
Canada.
You just wanted to piss off everyone on the plane? Is that what it was?
No, I was okay. I was okay because I'd had nothing dairy the whole of the rest of the time, so I was okay. It's not bad. It's not like people with severe nut allergies. One sniff of a nut and bang, they keel over. I can have little bits here and there, and caffeine doing similar things to dairy at the moment. So I still drink tea. But tea's light in caffeine compared to a few other things. But every time I've tried to drink Coca-Cola or anything like that in the last couple of months, I've had stomach pains. So,
that could be from a few things, though. It could be the sugar, it could be the acid, it could be the caffeine. It
could be also. But energy drinks and coffee. Coffee's also caused it recently. So
you shouldn't have put the milk in the coffee, John. Come on.
Well, I didn't, but it was just a black coffee, and it really hurt. So,
ouch. So, yeah, it probably is the caffeine then.
Given that I had a couple of energy, I had a couple of monsters, and they did me as well. So yes, there's something in there. Come for the Call of Cthulhu, stay for John's riveting stomach problems. Yes.
Yeah, you're enjoying it, Saxius. Yeah.
Yes, I am so competitive that I will fight kids for the prize. Yes, I will. I want that plastic trophy. I want that cheap plastic trophy. It's mine.
Some of the kids will probably be taller than us, to be fair. So
taller than me. I mean, you're only just.
I'm average height. Yeah.
Yeah, you're there or thereabouts. You're not tall. You're not short. You're just sort of in that sort of.
I'm just there. Just there. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Anyway, we completed one of the big campaigns, didn't we? I mean, in gaming there are several big campaigns. It's like
It's famous or infamous, whichever way you want to put it.
yeah,
It's one of the
yeah. I mean,
well-renowned, you know.
yes. I mean, I think only Masks of Nyarlathotep is considered to be higher than Horror on the Orient Express. I don't know which is bigger, which takes longer, which is more deadly, or whatever. But we did it. It's up there with going in AD&D, going fairly through the entire Against the Giants and surviving the Queen of Dimweb Pits and spending 6 months in the Vault of the Drow. It's up there with doing that.
And the slavers, the sort of thing, yeah.
And the slavers, the entire thing, yeah. I mean, so we did it, and it took us 21 months, and we didn't miss many weeks, did we?
No, I think 3,
2,
in the
maybe
whole time?
3. Yeah,
I think we had just when I went away, basically.
one for Clericon, one for Christmas, and I can't remember what the third one was, if there was one.
Well, we didn't. We sort of got to the point where we were swapping to the modern one, and that's when, John, when you went to Rome.
Yes.
Oh, yes, of course.
Didn't I go camping for a week last year or something?
You may have done, yeah. So it wasn't very many weeks we missed, anyway. Starting on the first Tuesday in January last year, yeah.
And we had
fucking, what is it, 80 odd sessions, you know, we only missed 4 weeks.
something like that, yeah. Which is incredible given how difficult it is to keep groups together with all adults and this stuff nowadays.
One thing I want to say is we didn't just keep the group together, the group fucking grew.
The group grew, yeah. And was it 4 of you? Yeah, 4 of you went all the way through.
Yeah,
so a little bit of changes around the edges.
Andy, myself, Manfred, and Joker.
Yeah,
and Joker's character was the one that actually survived right until the end,
until the final session, and he died in the final session. Yes. Which was
my character is still running around in the mountains. He's fine.
Well, yes, your character has survived. I mean, strictly speaking, both of your characters survived. It's just that their brains didn't. Just what they're doing it. So I'm going to say hello to chat. We have got
was on 19 sanity, so he lost, I think, 40 in one go. So he's never going to be quite the same, but he's not insane.
So. Hello to everyone in chat. Hello to Skagdad. I'm seeing your full titles here. Saxius Halakar. There's Elfbait. Hello. We've got Mike Percival. And it shows that there's 10 people watching this. Right, so we've done it. You two guys were with me through thick and thin throughout the whole thing. We've got to know each other in these couple of years, haven't we? We've got to know each other.
Say that again.
Yeah. Every Tuesday for 3 or 4 hours, bang. Week in, week out.
Sometimes chatting before, sometimes chatting afterwards.
Yeah. Most weeks, yeah. And Andy, of course, you documented the whole thing as well, didn't you?
Oh, I'm a sad bugger. Yeah, I wrote a sort of journal of what was happening from the character's perspective as much as anything else. And I haven't looked at it recently, but it did get to 300 pages, including Anne's wonderful artwork.
Yes. And some of that made for some quite entertaining reading, because, of course, I broke Call of Cthulhu rules for you.
Yes.
And allowed you to play for a couple of months with a character with no sanity left. And
it's
the
journal, porridge. It's the porridge that does it.
And the journal, I will say the journal only benefited from that, because the bizarre rantings that started appearing in that journal were very interesting.
Yeah, the red writing in the different font. I love
Yeah,
that.
Yes.
I thought that
yes.
worked quite well.
Because, of course, those who don't know, in Call of Cthulhu, you get down to 0 sanity. The character's meant to be retired. But
Yeah.
we came to a little,
you know,
we came to a little agreement that we would let it play on. Just I just wanted to see what Andy would do with a character who was clear marbles gone. And it was glorious. It was a lot of fun.
I'm glad you enjoyed it as well.
you did a phenomenal job, mate. Honestly, I don't think I could have done it.
But we got to the point where, yes, you had played the character for several months, and the time sort of came for him to disappear,
Run off into the
sunset.
mountains almost naked because he doesn't feel the cold anymore.
Exactly.
Because of Ithaca.
Exactly.
Yeah.
To go and be with Ithaca. Yes.
Yeah.
And of course, and he did make a little cameo pseudo reappearance in the.
Yes.
That was nice.
Was he really there, or was it just a figment of your imagination?
Well,
who knows? I mean, 90 years in the future, is he still alive? Who knows? Maybe Ithaca kept him alive.
That's the possibility. Yeah.
Oh. Or was it just being created by somebody tormenting you?
The mists that were around the train at the time, things like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So, this was what we played.
800
odd pages.
It's 750, I think.
Okay.
750, 760. Of
Not
which about 3/4 of it is pure adventure. The rest is background stuff, handouts, maps, and all that sort of stuff.
NPCs.
And NPCs. It's tons. But cast your mind right back.
I'll try.
Right back to that first scenario. London. Dancers in an evening fog. What a beautiful
When I was
name.
so green to role playing as well.
What a beautiful name for a scenario, though.
It is.
In an evening fog. I'd like to hear your thoughts from what you remember.
Blimey.
About that scenario.
That is a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away.
It is. It's where you met Professor
Julius Smith, yes.
And Beddoes.
And Beddoes,
you wandered through London, and his flat got torched.
Yeah.
And you got taken to a little sort of bedsit and given all sorts of the quest information. And then started preparing for the journey.
Yep.
And then we found that
sadly injured in theory, but
we found that antique shop where we found, I think, the Doom train thing.
The train.
I'll come to that in a minute. In a minute. But for me, that little scenario, I think it's not the most memorable in the book. It's not supposed to be. It's an introduction. It's there to get you involved. And it does a decent enough job of it, but it doesn't do a perfect job.
I will say, as a newbie to role-playing in general, and also Call of Cthulhu, the intro does its job. Like, it got me hooked. It got me to understand the game mechanics and the kind of things that I should be inquiring about. And by the time I got to Paris, it was like, okay, I kind of have an idea, and it just kind of built from there. But anyway, yeah, it does its job.
You also have to, it's one of those things that you get with just about any scenario. You have to suspend disbelief and go with it.
Yeah. That was probably one of the hardest things for me, is like, I don't want to do that because yeah.
Now, you guys didn't notice the scenario's main flaw, but right from the beginning, I was having to wrestle with a major issue.
Which was?
A major issue. You lot were trying to make sure the professor was put somewhere really, really safe.
Yeah.
You kept going on about him being put in an embassy or whatever. It's crucial for the adventure that he isn't.
Right. Okay.
Because of what happens at the end in Constantinople.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It's crucial for the adventure that he isn't, which is why he was digging his heels in. And I was trying to make sure, I was trying not to let that happen. And I was having to wrestle against that the whole time.
Because we had access to the embassy because of Abu was the character's name.
Yes.
Yep.
So I don't know, would we have had access to the embassy otherwise?
No.
Maybe not.
Okay.
But,
It's just that, it seemed like this is a secure place. He can get the medical help he needs, blah, blah, blah. And of course, then he vanished. And yeah.
I had to make sure he vanished. But quite simply to make sure the rest of the adventure worked. Or at least the Constantinople bit did.
Yeah.
And that's a bit of a problem for me, and that is due to the nature of long campaigns. There's so many moving parts. You've got to give the illusion of freedom to the players, but there's so many things that have to happen for things to make sense further on. And
well, I mean,
I was having to wrestle with that behind the scenes.
It is on the railroad, as they'd say, isn't it? So
yes.
There are certain aspects of it that were pushed through that you had, as you say, you had to. So
again, with me being new to role playing at that time, like I probably didn't pick up on the hints of like, no, don't do this. Whereas now I might pick up on those hints.
I was trying to do them in character, and I was trying to. Because the idea is you are meant to trust that Beddoes will look after him. You are meant to trust that Professor Smith is on the level. And you're meant to believe that he is safe, holed up in his hidey hole where you find him. And as there are going to be spoilers in this. It isn't Smith. It isn't Smith. Smith has already gone.
Yeah.
So, and Beddoes is under the influence of the fake Smith. He is being forced to do what he's doing. As soon as the players go, Beddoes becomes a victim.
And we had no visibility of that at all. And I don't think I know we're not meant to, but there was no visibility of that.
When we got to the end and the twist was revealed, it was like, holy fucking shit. Like that far back we were being manipulated. I knew we were being manipulated from quite early on, but that far back? Fucking hell.
So those who are watching who've never played it, who intend to play it, I've just given away a big thing.
No, he hasn't. No, just pretend you didn't hear anything.
No. Let's say this is meant to be a bit of a sort of deep dive into it, all the good points and bad points. And to me, that's one of the failings. There is it doesn't. London's a big place, and it's a home city to a lot of you, so it's expected that you know your way around. And clever players will try and think outside the box, which is what happened. I can't fault you as a group for trying to do what you were doing. It's just the adventure couldn't allow it to happen, that is a fault for the nature of the campaign. But that's a fault with the nature of a lot of these big campaigns.
Well, it can't account for every single, action in someone's free will, can it? So
no, quite. But aside from that, and aside from me having to wrestle for pretty much 2 whole sessions to make sure Smith gets away,
sorry,
the intro served its purpose.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, if it didn't, I wouldn't have carried on into the rest of the campaign. Simple.
Exactly. It was gentle. There was no real risk to you lot during that. Though you obviously believe there was a little bit of risk somewhere. Whatever risk there was minor. But the first risk came with Doom Train.
Yeah.
And that is an optional scenario.
Which I
And that
didn't take
cost-
part in because I was a little bitch baby.
Yeah,
And that cost
Two
us
of
2
you.
characters, didn't it?
yeah, because 2 of you pretty much refused to take part in the scenario. And Doom Train is one of my favorite short Call of Cthulhu scenarios. And I can think of it working in a lot of as a drop-in scenario in a lot of campaigns, because it doesn't really connect with the whole Horror on the Orient Express thing. It's just a little side thing.
Does
Just
it
happens
count
to be
as Dreamlands or not?
no.
No. Okay.
No. But you could drop it in any railway station as a starting point, or any city which has a big railway station, and it could go from there. You could adjust it from there. The key is the party need to get on the train, and 2 of you refused.
So me and Joker sat out that session, basically.
Yeah, well, 2 sessions it was pretty much. You were listening in.
Was it? Might
Yeah,
have
it
been.
was. Yeah, it was 2 sessions. It's only short. It's relatively short, but I mean, I think it might need a bit of a better hook to ensure the players get on the train, because you're meant to just feel sorry for the guy who appears to have been trapped and try and go in to help him. But of course, it's so early in the campaign, you haven't really even got into your characters so much by this point.
Yeah.
So it could do with a better hook to get you on the train. But
But
once
again,
you're on the train,
it's suspending disbelief,
Yeah.
biting into it. But yeah,
Which we'll get into more detail as the stream goes on. But yeah, I started to poke and prod more and more as I got more confident, and then
you did. Yes, you did. Yeah, and that became one of the memes for the first 6 months of the campaign. That if there was a chance to lose sanity, it would be Iman's character that lost sanity, because he poked and he prodded and he poked and prodded some more, and he was constantly making sanity checks as a result of doing all the poking, and everyone else was just letting him do it. Yes.
Well, someone's got to do it, right?
Yeah,
for the good of the group.
Yeah. Yes. But Doom Train, to say it changes the tone is an understatement. It goes from a fairly gentle, not really spooky, just sort of a bit of arson and somebody looking and their friend getting appearing to be badly burnt, all that sort of stuff.
The beginnings of a mystery.
Yeah, and beginnings of a mystery. And it hurls you into a ghostly train flying through some odd portion of the cosmos, inhabited by zombie passengers from a calamity that happened several decades earlier.
Yeah.
And in order to get out of there, you've got to rebuild the train set and mimic the actions of the train going around the pattern created by that train set.
And we won't go into details of what that pattern looks like or what it's made from.
And I don't know if you didn't really, I don't remember you making much of the fact that it was one of the story beats in that is one of the guys on the train has survived by eating the body, the only fresh body on the train, which happened to be that of his son.
I don't remember him eating. I don't remember the eating part.
There was only a hint
I know
at
it was
that.
his son, yeah.
There was only dropped a hint that his son had been on the train, and there were fresh bones in his compartment. And that's how it survived.
Okay.
It doesn't throw it in your face. That's what he's done. So the madman on the train, who was also trapped on the train, was only alive because he cannibalized his own son.
Lovely person. Yeah.
So you think it ramps it up? It ramps up the ickiness straight
It
away.
goes from 0 to 60 real fucking quick.
Yes. But I like Doom Train. I like the weirdness of it. I like it is spooky. It's grotesque. It's horrific.
The reason I asked if it was a Dreamland scenario is because it kind of has that sort of vibe to it more so than like the groundedness of like most of the campaign.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And did you notice that often the weird ones that were flashbacks or otherworldly were the optional ones, the sort of side things. That's by intention. It's by design in the campaign.
Yeah, fair enough. Yep.
Which we'll get to.
Yeah. So, with 2 characters died on the Doom Train. Manfred's character had his forehead kissed by one of the zombies, and
I remember that.
was from him. And also playing was
Bishop.
Roland. Yeah, Roland. And his character just walked out into the cosmos. Never to come back.
He jumped, didn't he, from the train?
He jumped.
Yeah.
He jumped. So you finally then boarded the train. Well, finally you boarded the ferry.
The actual, yeah.
You went to Paris.
Journey proper.
Yeah. You went to Paris. And this is where you finally get on the train, but not until you've been in Paris for a little while. For the most a beautiful scenario, in my opinion, Les Fleurs de Mal, the bad flowers, and
the family and the dynamics that were going on there.
Yes, I think it's lovely. In fact, you've got this innocent, sweet family who are clearly really good people, but something horrible is happening to them because they're unfortunate that they've bought a property that has something buried in its grounds.
Yes, which was causing, I believe, rash on the left arm of the little girl.
Yeah. Yes. But there was also the big thing in that scenario of the arrival of a certain villain.
How could we forget?
Yes.
Because during that scenario, you find yourselves at Charenton Asylum. Lurking in the depths of that asylum is somebody who was imprisoned there a century earlier. A certain Mr. Fenwick.
Yes. Comte Fenwick. Yeah.
Comte Fenwick. Now, obviously, to make the campaign work, you really need to probe the asylum. You really need to probe its depths. And for that to work, the players have to start getting curious. And you did. So it worked nicely. I've run it twice, that scenario, and both times the players didn't disappoint me and had a good poke around the asylum and dutifully freed the entity, which is what's meant to happen, but that paves the way for shenanigans. So,
Oh boy, were there a lot of those.
yes. But I think the general feeling, I mean, that scenario for me gets a big thumbs up because it wasn't particularly deadly, but it had that spooky edge. It had a bit of weirdness to it, and it had a bit of gravitas.
I'd say London's like a solid 7. Paris definitely takes it up a notch to at least an 8 because it is stronger.
Yeah. Yes.
It also set up something which I thought might come home to roost later, which is we start getting tied in or even implicated in people dying.
Oh, yes, of course.
So I half expected, particularly when we're coming back on the train, those who had gone out, are the gendarmerie going to be there? Not just in Paris, but in other places that we've been to as well.
It does talk in the campaign about that being a possibility.
Okay.
And I could have played more into that. There's a lot of things I did underplay.
Because the big problem
Because-
with that is that's going to distract from what's going on when you're heading back to London.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes. There's a lot of encounters with Mussolini's men that I sort of reduced in their frequency,
Okay.
because quite simply that dealing with the logistics of being chased by his goons would have been too much of a pain in the ass. I wanted to focus on the creepy and the grotesque rather than the action.
That's fair. Yeah. And there's a lot of moving parts as well. That would have just been,
Yeah.
a distraction more than anything.
I wanted action to happen at key moments when it mattered, not for it to become really frequent.
Yeah, like Manfred's character getting twatted by pulling a gun out on one of them.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that sort of thing. But that encounter, it had a meaning. I'd like to think it taught his character a bit of a lesson. Probably didn't.
Really?
No,
Nah.
no, it didn't. But I mean, that was fine in the moment. But those sort of things could have happened a lot more frequently. But I didn't want it. So I had them on the edges, rather than at the forefront.
Mm-hmm.
But they're always lurking there. They could have easily come in to.
It was always in the back of my mind, like, what are the consequences when it comes to the black shirts?
Yeah. Well, of course, one of the moments involving them was one of the things that's helped send Andy's character over the edge. And we'll come to that in a bit. If you remember, Andy.
So after Paris was...
Right. So
Lausanne.
Lausanne. Now.
Yeah.
Lausanne is...
Lausanne.
I have mixed memories of Lausanne. Again, I've run it twice. I ran it for my previous group. That's the group that dissolved due to the pandemic and all that sort of stuff. We got to Venice with that group. And it ran as per the book for them. But for you lot, you were supposed to put great emphasis on trying to find this scroll, which you knew to be in this other land, this dream Lausanne. But you fled the place really quickly.
Well, yeah, I mean, that was one of those situations where, as players, we may have said, "Oh, we should do X,"
Yes.
but if you're playing the character, you go, "Why am I going to go and stand up in front of a hostile crowd of 100 people and try and do this?" Because it's not going to go well. Yeah.
True. It wasn't meant to go well, but
my character was also going through an insanity at the time as well, which, that being my first proper one, I didn't really know how to roleplay, so I just roleplayed him like really like unsure and indecisive, and I'm scared of everything. Whereas now I think I would do a better job of like knowing what decisions I would still be able to make in that frame of mind and that sort of thing.
This, for me, to read, Lausanne is one of the best ones to read. I love the way it's all laid out. It's all framed. I love the interactions between the various people in there. And I love the imagery of this dream Lausanne setting. It's just, it didn't work very well for your group because you were, I'm going to say you role played your characters more than the other group. The other group were playing in the other group were a bit more sort of relaxed at the table, not caring so much about the characters in their heads and just wanting to engage with the story.
But this
So,
was your in-person group, though, wasn't it?
yes,
The
it
one.
was. Yes.
So
Yes.
that is obviously a factor as well, isn't it?
Very probably. Yes. Yes. And it is one of the things about Call of Cthulhu. It is a heavy role-playing game, but a lot of the adventures are written with one assumption, that whatever the character you want to role-play, they are also an investigator.
Yeah.
And so sometimes you do have that sort of awkward
Cognitive
situation
dissonance between
where the players know they have to investigate, but would the characters do that? So that's a little bit of a hump you've got to get over sometimes with Call of Cthulhu.
But in that particular situation, when we stepped into what was the Dreamlands, I believe, or the alternative Lausanne, anyway, the thing that we were expected to do, I don't see how that had anything to do with finding the scroll or whatever. It was just a situation that we were put into.
Wasn't that where the Duke was introduced?
Yes.
Yeah.
The key was the guy who was being accused and was about to be hung in the Dreamlands.
Edgar Wellington?
Yes, was the guy who had hidden the scroll and knew where it was.
I didn't realise that.
That's right,
Okay.
Yes. So, but all that sort of wasn't it. I think it got sort of skirted around, and I think focus on finding the scroll was somewhat forgotten in all the role playing of the madness and all that when you guys were going through it. So, I think having played it, it does need to be a little more obvious that saving Edgar from his fate is quite important.
Well, it felt like even if we had like the decision to actually go ahead and do something, it didn't seem like there was any eventuality that was going to be good for us.
Oh, it's not meant to be good. No, it's Call of Cthulhu.
But like one or even a few people standing up against a whole crowd, how's that going to turn out?
You don't know until you try. You don't know until you try. But of course, you ran away. But I then did a bit of fiddling, and I moved the scroll to a different location.
Yeah.
So you could still find it later on, which is something. It's something you have to do at various points, because the players aren't going to succeed 100% in every scenario, because some of them are a bit difficult at times.
And I felt at the time that the two brothers was where we needed to look to find the scroll. I didn't realise about that Edgar in the alternate was the one who knew where it was. And of course, that's the next situation where we could have been tied to the unfortunate deaths.
Yes, true. Very true.
Yeah. So
That's
the
good
Swiss police
advice,
are now looking
Alaka.
for us as well. Yeah.
We forgot to sort of mention in Paris. Yeah, we actually, the quest, the simulacrum.
The first piece of it.
Yes.
Oh yeah. That's where you found the first piece. Yes.
Yeah, we sort of glossed over that, but yeah, we got the first piece of the simulacrum in Paris, and then we had a note from someone or other, or maybe from Professor Julius, about like, oh, it's like buried here, or someone last saw it there, or whatever. So we're on like a wild goose chase for these pieces across Europe.
Yes. So, with Lausanne not really playing out as it should, and none of you being interested in sampling the dream drug that had got Edgar Wellington into trouble.
Mysterious substance with a needle.
Yeah. We never ended up playing the Dreamlands Express, which is a Dreamland scenario. Now, I'm not too disappointed about that. I mean, it's an interesting whodunit, but it's set in Lovecraft's Dreamlands with all of the weirdness that's involved, with all the alien races that inhabit there and loads of cats and things like that. So we didn't play that one. I played bits of it with my At the Table group, and they weren't overly fussed by it, to be honest.
That's interesting, John, because It strikes me that if we'd have gone into the Dreamlands at that point, that might have been too early to really appreciate it.
Possibly, yes.
Whereas
Possibly.
later on, there's more strange things happening, and it would have fitted better, perhaps.
The idea, though, is that if you've taken the Dreamlands drug, you unlock the ability to go there every time you then go to sleep.
Yeah.
Whoa, okay.
So when you were sleeping on the train, you could have gone into the Dreamlands and done a bit more of that scenario, and then come out of the Dreamlands and then continued, and then and just done bits of it as you were going through the long campaign.
Okay.
That's interesting.
But I was spared the task of having to have that scenario memorized along with whatever current one you're playing, because that's difficult. That is difficult because the Dreamland, it's a big scenario, the Dreamlands one. So it's not a case of having 20 to 30 pages memorized. It would be 70 to 80 at any one time. So we skipped the Dreamlands and you arrived in Italy and Milan.
Oh, this is where I feel things really kicked off.
Well, not initially. Because how many sessions did it take to get me to persuade you to follow up on a somewhat tenuous clue, but a clue all the same that everyone seemed to be willfully ignoring? When anyone talked about following up on this clue, they were talked out of it, and he went off and did something else.
Clue? What? No.
Yeah. And you all did it. You all mentioned it at points and then talked yourselves out of it. And I'm thinking, no, that's exactly where they need to go. Why are they going back somewhere else when they've already thoroughly checked that? And they've already thoroughly checked that. There's nothing there. And I was doing a fair bit of banging my head against the desk while I was running you through that one.
Understandably.
Yeah. And most to blame for going off on tangents there was Manfred. If you're lurking in chat, Manfred, I was cursing your name under my breath because you kept diverting them away from following that clue. But when you were finally on track, that scenario began to sing, quite literally. And of course, we had another death, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
Oh, poor Dr. Teddy Bear.
And then we nearly had another death almost immediately afterwards.
Yes. And
dear.
that was one of those sort of, we had a comedic fight.
Yeah.
Which, Iman, you brought your new character in, having just lost Dr. Ted Bear, and immediately got your pelvis shattered from being kicked in the nuts too hard.
So dodged a gunshot and went prone on the ground, and then couldn't obviously defend properly and got my nuts stamped on.
Yeah, and they rolled a critical with maximum damage.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Major wound.
Major wound, having been kicked in the nuts. Oh, ow.
And meanwhile, the big doorman, who has very good fighting skills, couldn't hit a bloody thing.
Couldn't hit a thing. No. He had like 80% chance to hit, and he just
Marco the doorman with like a wooden chair leg or something, and he just couldn't hit.
He couldn't hit a thing. No. His rolls were abysmal, so that really could have gone literally tits up. But then we had that sort of scene. Was it Joker's character who pulled off a gunshot that essentially won that scenario for you?
I don't think, was it a gunshot? No, didn't he?
I got the lucky
throw a
roll
mannequin head or something.
dropping the curtains on them in the stage.
Yes.
He may have been. I'd have to go back and look at the notes to see, but It may have been a lucky gunshot. Yeah, we finally got some good dice rolls at that point, just for that bit,
Yes.
and it told the story.
Yeah.
It did, yeah. It did. And that's what happened quite often for us. The dice told the story at key moments, and ended up making that finale in Milan quite memorable.
Yes,
Because it had dragged out for the first 2 or 3 sessions, but the finale was fantastic. And I think Milan is quite a strong scenario. It's
a sad one as well in a way because of the
Caterina
opera singer.
Cavallaro, bless her.
Yeah,
yes, the doomed opera star. Yeah,
but it
is a sad one.
also informs you that there are things going on beyond the norm, far
Yeah.
beyond what we've seen already.
Yes. So I mean, Milan, despite its frustrations, gets a thumbs up from me. I think it's the right tone for the adventure. I think it's the right level of lethality. And as you say, it starts to bring in some of the weirdness into the real world.
It felt like a good mixture between being grounded, being like obviously all woo woo, a good mixture between like NPCs and investigation, and everything felt quite well balanced in Milan, I think.
Yes. So yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. Then we went to Venice. Now,
Oh, yes.
I have mixed opinions of Venice. I think it played out quite well, but one of the reasons for that is what Andy did with Harold, invoking Fenelix's assistance in Venice.
Which also made us realize what he's like.
Yeah, and that's not in the adventure. That's something that was improvised around the edges.
Okay.
So it's not the scenario itself that produced what I think was one of my favorite moments from the entire campaign, which was basically Harold invoking help from Fenelix and then witnessing what he was capable of doing, albeit to the black shirts, but
the
still,
priest. Yeah.
As a scenario, Venice's main weakness is that it's got competing strands that, to me, don't gel all that well. You've got, for some reason, Fenelix prowling the canals in a gondola, taunting, tormenting, killing.
Yes, death in
Sort
a
of a-
gondola. Isn't that what it's called?
Yeah.
Avatar of Death sort of thing, isn't he, at that point?
Yes. You've got a Romeo and Juliet style story going on as well.
Yep.
And you've got a very human enemy in the form of one of Mussolini's goons and his henchmen, who are trying to stop. He doesn't want the couple to get together because he wants her.
Yes.
And meanwhile,
look who's in
Fenelix
chat.
Oh, look who shows up.
Manfred. Hello.
He must have known his name was being taken in vain.
So, for me, Venice popped because of a way to deal with one of the enemies that was not remotely in the script. The actual scenario itself is a bit run of the mill, in my opinion. I don't know what you lot thought of it, but that was my opinion.
It was not as strong as Milan, but I feel like it was still quite solid.
I mean, it's not bad.
It certainly started Harold's descent into having problems with Red.
Yes.
Milan felt
sorry,
cohesive, I think, and Venice felt a little bit more disjointed.
Yes, I would agree there.
Sorry, Andy, go on.
No, I was just going to say he his descent into red wine, no, red sauce, no, and then flipping the other way.
That was such a nice touch. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just for people in chat to basically, Andy's character Harold wasn't a brand new character, so he'd already got a few losses here and there.
Oh yeah.
He was a veteran of a few other adventures beforehand, so he didn't come into this campaign as fresh meat. He was already somewhat tenderized.
Yeah. Pretty much, yeah.
It was pre-marinated.
Yeah.
Yes.
But not in a red sauce.
So, but I mean, Venice got very grisly. And I suppose the way that Fenalik disposed of one of his victims was pretty unpleasant. But again, most of the grisliness was due to Andy effectively summoning him.
After he'd come to visit and said, I can help you. And all that, yeah.
Yeah. Well, this is something I did a fair bit in the campaign, is that as you know, I love Fenalik as a villain, and in the campaign, it underuses him. And I think it grossly underuses him. So I had him popping by and just making his presence known on
devil's advocate, basically.
But it was always at times when characters were by themselves, asleep. They'd find him sat at the end of their bed, or when they were going to bed, the room would be cold and there'd be a little mist gathering. When they're alone anywhere, I was waiting for characters to be alone and taking that opportunity to bring Fenalik in.
Have a one-on-one with Fenalik, each of us.
Yes. That was the idea. The idea was to try and get you all to experience a one-on-one with the vampire, and have him just remind you who's boss. And it worked. So I
agree.
I think Harold calling for Fenalik's help, I think that was very well timed. I think that was very well timed in terms of keeping Fenalik really relevant and really in everyone's faces.
I mean, in doing that, John, I think it worked very well because we knew what a monster he was. We got proof now, but
yes,
he also ingratiated himself into the party.
Yes, because he helped. Yeah,
he started calling us like his friends and things like that. It was just a bit like, oh no, oh.
Yeah. Oh, that was all intentional. I was doing that on purpose. So we went from Venice, which was average. I'd give Venice a 5 out of 10 personally.
And we've picked up 2 more pieces along the way as well, so we got 3 now, I think.
Yeah, you picked up more pieces. You picked a piece of the simulacrum in Milan, another one in Venice, and then you went to Trieste.
This was a very interesting chapter. I wasn't expecting it to be, but it turned out quite juicy.
Yeah. It's certainly the spookiest chapter up until this point. With a lot of unknown things happening behind the scenes that took a little bit of unraveling. And speaking of unraveling, this was really where Harold's mind heavily unravelled.
Oh yeah.
Good segue.
Yeah.
Yes. Because what started happening here? You started enjoying the cold.
Yes, that was the first thing. And then I noticed those people who were eating porridge.
And I
knitting it.
believe this is where Anne joined the party. No, sorry, that's a bit
No,
further
that
on.
was a little bit further one. But
So he wasn't taking his jacket off in front of ladies just yet.
no.
Thank God it wasn't Regency.
When did we do the Dark Crusader? Was that the Roman? Was Anne with us for the Roman one?
She was with us for the Roman one, not the Dark Ages one.
Not because before we went to Trieste, we had a little. I've jumped ahead of myself. We had one of the historical interludes.
Yes,
and that was the Dark Crusader.
Yeah, and I've got to say, because I was finding the basic Orient Express story, it was rather railroady, and we had no clue what we were doing, and we weren't maybe picking up on things, but whatever. But I did find the side games like the Dark Crusader, the Roman, that one, etc. They made the whole campaign.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would agree with one of them, but I wouldn't agree with the Dark Crusader. I found it an absolute chore.
It was very much a change of pace from the usual investigative roleplay. It was much more combat oriented and right, you have a goal, do this now kind of thing.
Yes.
But
it was very direct.
The change of pace was what did it with all of them, and a change of setting for the sides.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, yes. I mean, what you're saying, having them in to break the nature of the linear campaign is a good thing to have them there.
But
I do wish
that it helps fill in some of the background for us as players, but not our characters.
Yes.
Although it did mean we probably missed out on some excellent meals on the train because we weren't paying attention to those at that time.
Very possibly. I think the Dark Crusaders are weak. I know Manfred loved it, but that's because his character just rolled really well and he was running around beheading enemies left, right, and centre.
Yes.
But I thought it was quite weak. Personally, it was very much a point-to-point fight, find something, go somewhere else, fight, find something.
Yeah.
It was a little bit railroady, but it wasn't bad. I'd give it maybe like a 6. It's not as strong as most of the other scenarios so far, but it's not bad.
It probably could be because it introduced us to a lot of the back history.
Yes, it did. It did.
And it was totally novel compared with what we were doing in the main campaign,
which was pretty much exclusively 1920s, right? Up until that point.
Because the Dark Crusader set around the sacking of Constantinople by
11, whenever it was,
and the player characters are Crusader knights taking part in the sack of Constantinople. So that's it's. So we'll go on to Trieste. Cold wind blowing.
Oh, indeed.
One of my favorite aspects of Trieste is that ghost, Johann Joachim Winkelmann.
Yes,
was a real person who died in mysterious circumstances.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I love how this campaign goes into those levels of detail. And there were things that you found in there that about his history that are known to have really happened. And no one quite knows why he was killed or what happened to him.
And the adventure took that and was like, oh, maybe it was this.
Exactly. So
Halakar's turned 3 years old, John, sort of.
he has Halakar. It's time for nursery school for you, young man. Are you potty trained? I hope so.
He's potty mouthed, I can say that.
Well, yes, we know that. But thank you, Halakar.
Cheers,
Thank
Halakar.
you. But yeah, cheers for. Manfred thinks it was the Dark Crusader was a 7.5. I'd give it a 3 personally. I didn't.
Nah,
It's not bad. I didn't like it, but hey ho. Trieste, on the other hand, loved it. Absolutely loved it, because you now started digging out things about things that happened around the time of the French Revolution, as well as Winkelmann, and you were digging up all sorts of interesting bits and pieces, starting to tie together the history at this point. I think it's around now things started making a bit of sense. If it ever really can make sense.
I feel like this is where everything actually like properly clicked, not just for us as like individual characters, but as a group as well. Like we all know each other now, and it's been like 7 or 8 months at this point into the campaign. We're all quite comfortable with each other and how each other play and the kind of questions we ask, that kind of thing.
Yes. And it's about now, well, it was noticeable. It was about now that scenarios started taking longer because you were spending more time in character.
Yes. Which is nice. It's really nice, like, just to, I guess, be someone else,
Yeah.
You okay? Sorry, Sophie.
That's all right.
Sorry, I was listening. I just had to switch the mic off for a minute.
That's all right.
And then minor spoilers, about where the pieces are, I guess, but it's not really where the pieces are. But yeah, Trieste is where we got the 4th one, I think.
I believe so.
And it's also where Harold hits 0 sanity. Officially.
It is. Yes. It had that moment where Harold realized that the true way was to follow Ithaca.
Yes, absolutely.
And he no longer felt the cold.
Yeah, is it hot in here?
What was wrong with you lot all wrapping yourselves up in big heavy coats and things?
Absolutely. So yes, I love Trieste is a 9 out of 10 for me. It's a 9 out of 10 for me. I think it's a very strong chapter, and I think the way everyone played it just made it stand out even more.
It as a scenario, I think it's one of the strongest in the book, or at least the way it turned out with us.
Yes, definitely. So it was then on to Zagreb, and Zagreb was just sort of like a fleeting thing. Dream Zagreb, yeah. 12 pages, and one of those is a big advert for the Orient Express, and 3 of those are handouts. So the actual scenario itself was really short, and this one, the dice got in the way of the scenario having any chance of being remotely interesting. So it didn't work. It just didn't work at all.
It was a strange one, that.
It was.
That felt like, I think, the most out of place thing in the entire campaign for me.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it could have had its moments, but it just didn't. And it was a waste. It only lasted a session, maybe a session and a half. And to me, it was a waste of time. complete waste of time. But hey ho, hey ho.
See, you say Dark Ages is a 3. I'd say Zagreb is like that a 3. You know what I mean?
I'd lower than 3 for me for Zagreb. Just no.
It didn't really go anywhere, did it? That was the thing.
No,
That's it. Yeah, it was very railroady. Again, we're going to use that word a lot, I guess.
absolutely. I get what it was trying to do. It just didn't do it at all. So we then moved on to Vinkovci, Bread or Stone, and this
Is where Anne joined
scenario,
the group.
It's where Anne joined the group. Yes.
Yep.
Yes. Which was good. Now reading the scenario, it doesn't really stand out. It's just Zagreb was the one with the bells, and you're trying to make the train, and one of you doesn't make the train, and is tormented by the bells afterwards. And you were finding random things happening in the streets that really made no sense. That were just
following like a seemingly random trail of breadcrumbs to eventually find this thing.
Yeah. It's not that it wasn't memorable, but Vinkovci was, because this is where you met Jasmina, and this is where Anne started playing Jasmina, and even though it's not the most exciting of scenarios. It's not the most disturbing, apart from obviously what the Doctor's up to. But you've already seen worse.
I don't know. That was pretty bad what he was doing.
I think the voice box transplant was worse, personally. But yeah, okay, and I do think the fake train set in the Doom Train was worse as well. But yeah, he was doing some fairly disgusting things.
Cthulhu is very much, mind horror in a lot of ways, but this is where the body horror started to come out, I think.
It did, yes, it did. But it gave us a great NPC in Jasmina, who became a player character, and Anne played her with great enthusiasm for the rest of the campaign, which was really, really good. So that made that scenario.
I was going to say the other thing it did, a bit like the brown shirts in Venice, it lent a little bit into what was happening in the world at the time.
Yes.
So there's historical things going on there, which is interesting.
It did that. It did, yeah. I think it could have made a bit more of that. It's left in the hands of the keeper to go into that if necessary. That's just a reason for you to be stuck in Vinkovci for a while. It's just it's not meant to have any other impact, but I think they could have done a bit more with that, maybe.
But I really liked the whole like hunting lodge and going on the expedition. That was really cool for me.
Yeah, but again, the whole chapter took a lot longer than a lot of the previous ones, and this might be why we remember more of it, because you were getting into your characters and getting into these sort of more mundane parts of life.
And this is where Harold started taking his jacket off in front of women.
Absolutely.
And the hunting lodge is still looking for the rope that vanished from the windows.
All these little things were starting to happen, yes, because you were gathering together rope because you wanted to string up cultists. Yes,
absolutely.
Yes.
Phenomenal.
And he was getting the rope from the curtains in the hunting lodge. So, yeah. All these little things started happening because the characters were really blossoming at this point. And thus chapters weren't taking 2 or 3 sessions, apart from the bells in Zagreb, that 1.5. But this one, we were talking like 6 or 7 sessions by now, simply because you were spending so much more time on the mundane, which I really liked. I really liked.
But also, a factor is, we have an extra player, so that's an extra mouth, and therefore, like, more things that can be explored through someone else's different perspective, etc.
Absolutely. And yeah, when did we add Mike to the group as well? We added Mike in Venice, at the end of Venice, didn't we?
Was he not after Anne, or was he before?
No, it was before. Because Mike had played in my face-to-face game, and he'd played as far as Venice. And I'm pretty sure we added him at the end of Venice.
William. See, I remember William, but when did William join the group?
He joined you in Trieste.
Was he in Trieste?
Yes, he was.
Andy, do you remember? I'm drawing a blank here, mate. Sorry.
I'm trying to think exactly when it was.
I'm sure it was the beginning of Trieste. I'm sure
You
sure I
could
engineered
well be right. Let me see if I can find it.
It's a similar sort of time frame, within maybe 1 or 2 months.
Yeah.
Let us
So in these 2 chapters is when we added 2 new players, which of course, yes, this actually makes things. It does make things take longer. There are more interactions between the characters, and both Anne and Mike are they get into their characters, so that it added that dimension. So
yeah, William's there in Trieste.
Okay, right. So Mike was before Anne. Apologies,
I'm
Mike.
pretty sure you met him on the train from Venice to Trieste.
I think you're right, because we'd stopped on we get the next train rather than the
That
one
rings
we
a
were on.
bell.
Yeah,
That does ring a bell. Yeah.
yeah.
I remember his like slightly awkward introduction, as Mike does, being like a polite person, and he's just like, "Excuse me, fellows."
He does the stereotypical English gent rather well.
Yes.
Yes. So that filled us back out to 6 players once again with the addition of Mike and Anne. And oh yes, there was that dagger that was given to Harold for safekeeping in Vinkovci.
But he's kept it safe. Yeah.
The claw, yes, of course.
Yeah. Question with that dagger, is that something that could have been useful for the party later to actually attack the simulacrum, or No. Okay, it was
it's just
sort
a
of
really good
totally separate artifact, as it were. So the fact Harold ran off with it doesn't matter in that sense.
So why was it included in the original like handout illustration? Because it seemed like the way it was, drawn or whatever, that it was part of the simulacrum or like meant to be used with it in some way.
I believe it stemmed from the same period.
Okay.
And was one of the things one of the artifacts that did belong to the owner of the simulacrum.
Yes, and we know what it can do, thanks to a certain someone.
Yes. I'm pretty sure Mike was in the caves.
He was.
Yes, he was. So we then moved on to another of the historical interludes.
The Roman
one. We went back to Constantinople in Roman times for Sanguis Omnia Vincit.
Like 300 AD, 300-ish?
330 AD, yes.
Yes.
The time of Constantine. And
that was very much a change of pace. Like, I mean,
Oh, yeah.
Dark Ages was like a shift, obviously, in mentality and how people thought back then and whatever, but this was like a whole different thing.
What I think this did better is that the combats, though they were fairly frequent, were genuinely more horrific.
Yeah.
They were with things that can't be explained.
Yes.
It
wasn't, human or humanoid. It was
No.
something else.
And I think this had a much better. I really like this one, and I love the evil twist at the end.
Oh yeah, we
I
won't
think the
mention
evil
that.
twist. Oh, it's glorious! It's glorious. I think it's
And,
wonderful.
I mean, you can shit on the Dark Ages scenario all you want. It's not that bad, but this scenario is definitely better. We can agree on that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. This one is one of the highlights for me. I loved
Yes.
it. Absolutely loved it.
It felt like the origin of everything in a way as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, that's what it's meant to be.
Yeah.
And yes, Manfred, the combats were on a larger scale. There weren't as many, but they were bigger.
Yeah, it was like one of the only mass battles, I guess you could, say it was in Call of
It's
Cthulhu.
the only one, really. Yeah.
And it's a good one as well. It was a fun one.
That's the most drawn out combat sequence we've had in the entire campaign as well. But it wasn't. It didn't get stale. It was still really like fun and engaging, and it was cool.
Manfred said the flying skins reminded him of the Beastmaster movie. Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
Good. I think that's good.
But I mean, for me, I love the ending of that. I love the ending of that one. I think it the whole scenario seems to flow nicely, and it ends with this really sort of.
It felt like, we accomplished our task, and the world is saved or whatever. And obviously, we as players know it's not, but it felt like for our characters, okay, cool, that's the end. No, it's not.
We've won. Oh,
yeah.
But that's a good one. I think that's a really worthwhile one. Speaking of worthwhile ones and getting the horror right, Little Cottage in the Wood, Belgrade.
Oh yes. Oh yes.
And now at this point, we're well into the second book, and things could really start dragging here. I feel that they started to drag in Constantinople, but they certainly didn't drag in Belgrade. Belgrade was weird and wonderful and horrific and spooky. And what I said in my review is that this one plundered a lot of the horror tropes, but it did them for a reason, and they're tropes for a reason. They work for a reason.
Yes.
You had the innocent.
Sorry, go on.
You had the innocent priest who loves his wife and had unwittingly unleashed her on the village because she was an evil force, and flocks of terror birds.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that was very interesting.
Terror chickens.
Lots of roast chicken and whatever for the next couple of weeks or months.
Yep.
But I feel sorry, go on.
Yeah. No, I was going to say, I think, this is the horror things that were going on that were horror. As I say, I have issues with certain other parts of the scenarios and what they consider to be horror. But this was definitely, and it jumped from one thing to another as well, which was good.
Yes.
I feel like
I got very excited at the prospect of Baba Yaga's hut.
I feel like as a self-contained scenario, this is probably one of the strongest ones in the adventure. Like you could probably run this as like a one-shot, and it would be like really cool.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean,
you'd have to trade out the simulacrum piece with something else.
I was just going to say that, but I mean, basically, you could do, or you could not even trade it out. They've gone there they think it's okay, and then things go horribly wrong, and they just escape or try to.
Yeah.
And there was a lucky dice roll in that, wasn't there, as well?
Very.
Yeah, there was one particular dice roll that it could have seriously ended things for multiple characters, but
Mhm.
it didn't.
So
And
I
they-
suffered an insanity and had to randomly roll and run in that direction, and I chose a good direction, thankfully.
That was one of them. There was
Well, Harold would have
Hey.
died if he hadn't made the dice roll. With,
yeah. I'm pretty sure that happened on more than one occasion in this scenario. That
he
people
got
would have
very
died.
lucky in certain things, and there were other
Very
people who got
possible.
very lucky.
Yes. The dice told a really interesting story in this adventure.
Yeah.
And there's lots of good artwork in this one as well. Lots of good artwork.
Oh yes,
Oh
the
yes.
classic.
Yeah. So Little Cottage in the Woods gets a big thumbs up. And these little pictures.
And I feel like it also hits that like you say, the horror movie tropes kind of thing. It's like it feels like a horror movie, and you're just like living through it rather than like
Yes.
a game almost.
Yes. It was good like that. Really good like that. So Belgrade really worked. Now,
Big thumbs up.
Repossession. Repossession was Sophia. And this is where we basically said goodbye to Harold, because Harold had he'd been through too much.
I mean, back with the Little Cottage, he'd also started to attack other characters.
Yes, he had actually. Yes, yeah. The insanity was really starting to get to him, and it was starting to fracture the group potentially. Good night, Manfred.
Cheers, mate.
And these were it wasn't wanton violence. It was naturally emerging violence according to the situations.
Yeah.
Justified in the sense that Harold was protecting himself and what he felt was
Yes.
important.
Yes. I mean, yeah, and what he felt was important may have been irrational and whatever, but it fitted with how you'd played him, how the party had been treating him, trying to look after him, but seeing that he's getting more and more difficult. And so, yeah, Harold basically disappearing into the mountains with a new friend.
Yeah.
It seems right about now. And you ended up playing a Bulgarian
Father of the
middle-aged
bride.
gentleman, father of the bride. Yes,
Former smuggler, whatever. Gregor. It's Gregor. He does
Gregor,
not
yes,
speak of the
Gregor.
Galicia very well.
Not very well, no. And they met him in Sofia in this repossession scenario. Now, as a scenario, the whole point of repossession is it's meant to be where you've got all the bits, you've got you discover more of Fenelix's grotesque handwork, and that Fenelix's handiwork would have had a major impact if I'd have held him back, but I don't think it had a massive impact because you'd already seen his handiwork in previous scenarios. But where it had an impact is it just added to the hatred you all had for him. And this was your chance, because he now came for the what he believed was his.
Yes.
And it was your chance, and it was your chance to try and finish him off.
And he was basically, being our friend so long as we served him. Well, we didn't really serve him, but we served what he wanted, basically.
Yes, yeah. He was using you to get the bits.
We were doing the legwork for him, basically.
Absolutely.
And now he's come to collect the fruits of his non-labor.
Absolutely. And it all got very violent on the train. And we had a really, really good couple of sessions with you, sort of finally dealing with him, and thus repossession as a scenario, I think it's written well. It had the potential not to have too much of an impact because I may have overplayed Benedict a little, but it actually
it
worked. It worked because your characters hated him so much in the end. So it all's well that ended up.
But the thing that made it work so well is we didn't just hate him. Like, as characters, obviously, we hate his living guts or unliving guts, but as players, it's like that love-hate. It's like you played him so well that it's like we kind of always wanted more of him, and it's kind of we're sad to see him go in a way.
Well, I mean, I think as
Yes, my
characters,
friends.
we hated him, but we feared him as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, my friends, you did my bidding. I did enjoy getting to know you, but then you turned on me like the worthless little bastards that you are. You let me down.
Yeah, but we dealt with you, mate. So, get fucked.
You did. Yeah. And thus,
but it kind of felt like the end of an era in a way. Like, we still had a lot of campaign to go, but like the end of Fenalik was just like, like I said, we're sad to see him go in a way.
He wasn't completely dead. He was just completely neutered, because I did make sure that he had a little goodbye later on when you were returning, but he couldn't do anything because basically his coffin had been destroyed. He couldn't recover.
The other thing is, I think we felt that he was the main protagonist.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, what's happening? We'd seen a couple of other people, like the Count, not the Count, sorry, in Lausanne, the Baron.
Yeah, the Jigsaw. Yeah,
whatever it is. Yeah. And he magically appeared on the train and then vanished, and we never saw him again in this sequence.
Yes.
Yep. And there were then lots of questions about, well, who is the protagonist? Who is the villain we're looking for, or whatever?
And this is one of the weaknesses of the overall campaign, is that not enough is made, I think, of this Makriat character. Yeah.
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 I have missed something out, because we did have a little break from the main campaign to play
Reign of Terror,
the played Blood Red Fez.
Oh yeah, we did. Yes, that's true.
Pardon me.
Yeah.
And I had Mike play because Mike had already played the Blood Red Fez. I had him play the train inspector.
Yes, Henri.
Yeah. The Blood Red Fez I think it's a lovely adventure. It's really well written. It's got loads of moving parts. It's a bugger to run, but it's a lot of fun.
It was amazing. And as far as scenarios go, that was probably as good of an ending you can ever hope for in a Call of Cthulhu adventure.
Yeah. It's fantastic. But it's too big. They want you to run that during the first chapter.
Really?
Back in London. Yes. You are meant to find something in the shop that triggers it. So not only in the first chapter you're meant to trigger the Doom Train, you're also meant to trigger the Blood Red Fez as well.
Interesting.
And I think that doesn't work because Blood Red Fez is too big to run in the middle of a chapter.
So the real thing to do, in a way, is to possibly run the Blood Red Fez if you're looking to run Orient Express for a group, potentially. See if they like it or not. Then they have some background into the story, and then when they get into the campaign,
Yes. Run the Blood Red Fez as the first part of the campaign. Now, I couldn't do that because I'd already run it for General Nut.
Right. Yeah.
He was in the campaign at the beginning, so I couldn't do that.
That's right.
So it allowed you guys to enjoy it, which was good. And I think it's a great adventure, but it is the way to introduce the whole campaign. And of course, we did have a little diversion to play Reign of Terror as well.
Yes. Big diversion in some respects. Right.
That was I think that was a big diversion, but that was very, very juicy. We got to see
a completely different campaign book, isn't it?
Yeah.
We got to see Fenelek in his prime, in his pomp, doing his fucked up shit.
Absolutely, and it is. This is where you, as players, discover just how depraved Fenelek is when he gets a chance to get his pleasure.
Yeah.
Now
the party.
And now the party is horrible. But I have misgivings about that particular scenario. I love the second scenario, the one where you meet up with some of the characters. You track down some of the characters from the first scenario, and then you have the music and the sacrifice at the end of one of the characters and all of that. I think the second scenario in that book, even though it's not connected to the Horror on the Orient Express campaign, I think the second scenario in Reign of Terror is fabulous. I think it's really good. The first one, for me, is too linear and almost too gratuitous. Is it? I think that one is just...
It feels like a setup for the second one more than anything.
Yeah. I mean, I get that it works in that it shows just how horrific. It shows how Fenelek is modelled on the Marquis de Sade, and takes the Marquis de Sade and turns him up to 11. But I think it's a little bit OTT. I think it takes its horror in almost an exploitative sort of manner. The sort of video nasties that you hear things about, horrid, violent porn and that sort of stuff. It's got that sort of element, and I don't play Call of Cthulhu for that.
It did feel very much like, let's throw all the fucked up shit and see what sticks.
Yeah. So, while I see it has its place as basically Fenelek is the most depraved person on the planet, and no one could ever be more depraved than him. It was a little too in your face for my liking. But hey, you lot seem to enjoy it anyway.
I mean, again,
hello, Jeb.
For us as players, there's the element of we've to know this guy over so many months of actual time and hours of in-game time. So we have this prior connection with him as players. So when our characters are there, it's like we really want to actually experience what it's like, in his prime, like I said. But if you play that first, when you don't know about Fenelek, it kind of will spoil it a little bit in a way when you play the main campaign.
I think, Reign of Terror, if you're going to play it, you've got to play it after the party have met Fenelek and hopefully seen some of his violent handiwork.
Yeah.
So I think we played it around the right time.
It was good. It was really
good. Yeah, it was good. I mean, it's a good book. It's a really good source book. Some of the artwork's a bit ropey, but we had Anne to correct that.
Yes.
So,
big shout out to Anne for all of the artwork that she did since joining, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Excellent.
I used a lot of it for my review video. And so a lot of the art you see in that review video is not from the book. It's from Anne, which is good. Right. Okay, so with Sophia done,
And with all the pieces,
And with all the pieces and Fenalik dealt with, we move on to the glorious finale.
or was it really?
By the skin of the teeth, Constantinople, a very big chapter in the book, about 40 odd pages, very convoluted.
I mean, we as players and characters have thought like this is the place we've been. This is our goal. This is where a lot of shit's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
This is what everything had been pointing to for quite some time.
Yes.
But the pointing was really just getting us there. That was the idea.
Yeah.
But like everything had been like leading up to this, and this is where it all culminates. Yeah.
Now, I think as a chapter, it had some really good moments. I loved the fact that that you encounter the real Professor Smith in a hideous state towards the end of the chapter.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's good. I liked the melting of people at horrible moments. I think that was quite good. And
I mean, out of everything that we've experienced so far, blood, guts, profanity, whatever it is, but that, like, people melting and that was really fucked up for me. So
it's. But there is a huge problem with the chapter, in that there are at least 2 occasions where, for it to progress as expected, the players have to react to the enemy and the thing that's happening in a certain manner.
I was going to say we've got at that point we've got off the train, but we're still on rails.
You're on even greater rails. That's the problem.
Yeah.
And one of the moments in particular, the chapter expects you to hand over the pieces of the simulacrum.
Why the hell would we do that? I mean, that's
why would any group do that?
See, that seems so ridiculous to me, because the whole point is that we've been told to gather them and destroy it. That's been our goal.
So you're not going to give them up willingly?
No,
of course not.
Yeah.
And
because we don't know what he's going to do with it, but we know it's not going to be good, so we ain't letting them have it.
In the same way we wouldn't let Fenalik have it.
Exactly.
Absolutely. And it makes the keeper's job even more difficult, because it's not an easy chapter. It's got loads of moving parts, loads of little bits to remember. It's not the best written chapter. It goes a bit all over the place. And
also, a lot of the clues that we'd learned up to this point, we were trying to see like what ties it all together here and things like that.
Yeah. So you seemingly had a lot of freedom of movement, but certain things had to happen in a certain way in order for the chapter to work as written in the book, and it just didn't. So I had to do some shenanigans in that chapter. We got through it, but it was not a good part of the campaign.
No.
It was stressful for me, frustrating for you lot.
Some of the scenarios, have been bad, but this wasn't bad. It just felt like a letdown, if that makes sense.
Yes, it should be the big blockbuster ending. And as I say, there were some great moments in it. Mm-hmm. I love the idea of the flapping man being a conglomeration of all the souls of the dead who had suffered. I think that's a wonderful idea.
And really fucked up.
And there's a very sick moment where the kids are being sacrificed as well. Really sick.
That was probably the worst thing out of everything in the scenario for me. Just, you know, like mentally just thinking about that is like, whoa.
Yeah.
But there were so many parts of it where we were just pushed in a direction and was nothing we could do.
Yes.
Yeah. There was, I think, 1 or 2 moments where it was kind of like we were expected to lose, and then we basically got teleported to like where we were supposed to be in a way.
Yeah, captured
Yeah,
and whatever else.
Yeah.
So no, the Constantinople scenario is a big miss, unfortunately. And there was a little add-on bit that I could have added to that called Perfect Skin, which is a little story of a couple of newlyweds in Constantinople that I chose to completely ignore because I just had enough of Constantinople. I'd had enough of the place.
That's fair.
I mean, that's only about 5 or 6 pages of the book, so no loss. So, and sorry for whoever wrote Perfect Skin. I didn't.
Someone had already murderized one poor husband in a newlyweds.
Oh yes, yes.
What? I don't know what you're talking about, mate. Nope.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, you know, a lot of these people that you encounter on the train and in these little sort of interludes, and, most of those were just completely made up on the spur of the moment, just to.
Well done.
Just
done.
To give you. Just to give you people to interact with and make it seem like you're on a journey and shoot. Yeah.
It's like extra flavor. It makes it feel more real, you know? Like it's not just us and a world. There's other people in it, you know?
Yeah.
I
mean, that whole sequence when you met Reginald and Edith on the train, that was all completely that was all completely pulled out of my head. And the idea of Fenelix tearing Reginald apart, and then Edith witnessing it, and then standing there at your compartment, just tapping on the door, holding his arm, and using it to tap on the door. That's not in this at all. It's I made that bit up. So,
and that mixture of just like, oh, we're kind of happy he's dead because he was such an ass, but like, still, that's pretty bad.
Or Edith, yeah.
I know we haven't got many people watching at the moment, but if any those of you who are watching, a trick to running Call of Cthulhu, any horror adventures, is create NPCs that have got obvious traits that the party will latch onto in either a good way or a bad way, because you want the players to feel something about the NPCs, so that when inevitably one or all of them get murdered, it brings out emotional responses, positive, negative, or unsure whether they should be happy about something.
And if there's anyone you can point to for that, it's Anne, bless her.
Yep, absolutely. So that's the biggest tip I can offer anybody running a horror RPG. Make your NPCs the type of people who they're not grey NPCs. They are colourful in good ways and bad ways.
Yep.
Hello, Cody.
That's such a good way to put it. I like that.
Yeah. And the old couple, I think they typified it. They absolutely typified it. She was such a sweetheart, and he was so horrible. But she loved him. She needed him. Right. We then returned because Constantinople was not the end. You had to get back to London and to stop Macreat on the train in Blue Train Black Knight. Now,
who has now stolen the simulacrum and done some shit, and we have to get it back.
Well, he is now one with the simulacrum, really, and that was it. But now this, I didn't have to make up any NPCs for this one. They gave me some juicy NPCs to play with, especially a certain Sir Robert Harrow.
Oh, And he was rather harrowing, must I say.
Ladies?
Oh,
Oh, you would like me to join you, ladies?
yeah.
No, we're
Oh,
okay, thank you.
Oh, you look rather lovely there. Hope you don't mind me sort of getting uncomfortably close to you.
I'm sorry, sir, that seat's taken.
No, I don't believe it is. It is taken now. So, what would you like to drink?
Yeah, he's just
Are you
so...
single?
Yeah, just...
And did it matter to him anyway? I mean,
No, it didn't matter to him.
No.
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 Now, what made me like this scenario is you've basically been city hopping and the train had felt superfluous.
Sorry.
Not much had happened on those things that happened on the train, mostly things I added along the way. This is a scenario that actually took place on the train, which is the first one in the main campaign to be entirely set on the train.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it finally lived up to horror on the Orient Express.
Yeah,
the name.
yeah. And I thought this was a pretty good chapter. I like the fact that there are people being murdered along the way by a twisted bad guy who's doing horrible things to people who you've just got to know and hopefully like or dislike. But I like the fact that you're confined on the train while it's all happening. And I thought that was quite good. But I know, Andy, was this the one that you thought of started to become a bit too slashery? Or was that next? That was
Yes.
the next one, wasn't
This, and particularly the 2013 one.
it?
Mm-hmm.
You know, Cthulhu is meant to be a game of cosmic horror.
Yes.
The unknowable that breaks your brain. If you want a slasher movie sort of feature, play Alien or play Mothership. They're designed to have that sort of thing happen in them. But this was just, it's just, how many times do you have a body fall out of a cupboard and it's like, oh, it's another body? The first time, yes. The 14th time, it's like, oh dear, it's another body. Unless it's people you actually really care about and your friends and family are being murdered, then it's horrific. We saw that with the modern scenario where, okay, the first time we're not expecting blood and guts and things, and it happens, that's horrifying. Then it happens 3 more times, it's like, oh dear, that's nasty. But do we really care that much?
It
And
starts
then there's
to...
the one thing that was the horror event, which happened with Anne and Michael.
Yeah.
And that, again, was true horror. But other than that, it's like, oh, it's just another body. He's taking bits. And I know we're being blasé about it. And yes, you would find it horrific in a sense. But it's not the mind-numbing, break your brain horror that I think Cthulhu's meant to be about.
Yeah,
That's fair.
I mean, as you say, things like Little Cottage in the Woods and Trieste and those sort of things were that type of horror. Whereas, the tone had shifted somewhat. Now, I do quite like it. I like the sort of whodunity sort of style of
Well, that's the thing. It was
Yes,
less. It was less of a horror and more of a mystery than anything. It wasn't like, oh no, someone's been murdered. It's who's going to be murdered next, and who's doing it.
I mean, I understand. I understand your misgivings about that because, but it's a chapter I enjoyed because I think it was set on the train, and you were sort of stuck on the train with a madman.
That being stuck on the train was the aspect that I liked because it felt like, I guess, claustrophobic. Like you're trapped. Obviously, there's no way around it. You've got to deal with it.
Yeah. And of course, the way you dealt with him in the end was one of the characters sacrificing himself. Which I thought was a good moment. I thought it was a very memorable moment.
And he'd lived from the first moment until the very
No,
last.
no, this wasn't. This was Adam.
Oh,
This
sorry,
was,
no. I'm nope, jumping the gun.
This was Mike. This was Mike. Yeah.
Yeah.
Heroic sacrifice. Yeah.
Yep.
It's a heroic sacrifice, but I think, yeah. I mean, I get you. I get your issues. There was one more little scenario afterwards, wasn't there? A very short one.
Yes.
When we're back in London.
Where you're back in London.
Yeah.
And this one only lasted one session or 1.5 sessions. And to me, that was absolutely fine because a lot happened in that time. And
I think we got lucky with that. And Iman, it was a lucky guess of what you did, and you know, that solved it, as it were, because we had no clue, basically.
No. As far as we know, we had to destroy it. We had no idea how. It was just quick thinking, like based on the information I had. Okay, fuck, try this.
Yeah, exactly. And we had, but there wasn't anything saying this could do it. Oh, now we know you to use that knowledge. It's just it was a good guess based on what we've done and seen and that, and it worked. But it's I think that's the only thing that frustrates me a little bit with Cthulhu scenarios in general. Yes, you're not meant to know, you're not meant to understand, but if there is a conclusion, there should be that chance that the investigators have found out enough that they can try and stop the invasion of the old ones or whatever it is. They may fail, but if they haven't got a clue in the first place, it's like, yeah, okay, whatever.
Yeah, like we obviously know, like he might worship the demon or whatever and want to try and attain his power or whatever, but to summon him, like we had no indication of that.
No.
But as a finale, as a short chapter that suddenly obliterated everyone's sanity and left you all gibbering vegetables,
Yeah.
I think it worked. I think it worked.
And melted Joker's character, yeah.
And melted Joker's character, yes. I think
It
worked.
really worked. It really worked, and I'm glad that we kind of, quote unquote, won.
Yes.
In a way.
Yes. So I think it works as an ending for the entire campaign because it does. It's by far the most brutal scenario. It's very short. It is incredibly difficult. You're really not going to get anything positive out of it, other than your characters aren't going to come out of it with anything positive. As players, sense of achievement, but your characters are going to be screwed. I do like the idea of the old skin devils attacking with bowel flails and things like that. But we then had a little break. We had a little break to play Forget Me Not, which, if you've never played Forget Me Not, you must.
Sign up now. Join the Discord.
Yes.
I'll run it again. I'll run it again gladly. I think it's the best Call of Cthulhu adventure ever written, and it didn't disappoint again. But then we played the modern day scenario, and I know, Andy, you were frustrated with this one, the Simulacrum Unbound. Now, I like it as a scenario, but as you say, yes, it does get.
It's a slasher movie when you get to it.
And
that's okay in one sense.
Yeah.
But again, there are certain things in there where, and I know you explained one of them to us, it's like we haven't got a clue. And the portal's open. What do? Do we try and close it? We didn't go close enough to see him beckoning or whatever.
No.
But again, it's, and I think this is a problem with. It's like when you've got a game master who knows all the things that are going on and can't understand why the players don't know. And there's a lot of Cthulhu things seem to be written like that. And it's not the keeper's fault. It's not the game master's fault. That's how they've been written. And it's like, well, how the hell are the characters meant to find out any of this so that they can try and get to the end game in a state where they can try and do something even if it fails?
You survived. What more do you want?
Yeah, yeah.
Again, it was more of like and like you said, a lucky or an educated guess. Like, okay, I guess this is the best we have. Fuck it, let's try it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It's designed to be that sort of scenario. I think that it can end somewhat open ended. You can have that sort of slightly flat ending where yes, you've survived, but you haven't stopped the bad guy.
Well, that's it. It was good for the sense that, like, obviously the characters went on to do whatever.
Wouldn't know that either.
But us as players, it's like, oh shit, we thought we stopped it, 90 years earlier, but we haven't. Oh fuck.
Yeah, it's still going. Yes, it's things are still happening. Yeah, I mean, I don't dislike the scenario. I like again that you're pretty much mostly stuck on a train. And I think as you say, the moment of true horror that really came about because of the relationship between Mike and Anne.
Yeah.
Yep, very much so.
I was starting to doubt whether it had been a good idea, me making them a married couple for that scenario. But I think it was proved to be a good move in that particular moment.
I think it worked.
It worked in the end, yes. It got off to a bit of a slow start. I know it felt like the Mike and Anne show for the first couple of sessions. But you weren't feeling well. And I mean, you requested a quiet character for that particular adventure anyway, because you had your medical issues sort of kicking off. But I think the true moment of horror came about because of that character interplay, and that bit worked. I do have some misgivings about how for the rest of you, because some of you
we didn't see it, but
no, you
but
didn't
even so, I mean, because that was the 5th murder. So the first one was obviously horrific in all sorts of ways and is a shock.
Yeah.
But then it starts happening again and again and again. And I know there are differences. And then when Anne comes out, or can't remember what her name was, her character's name was, but comes out afterwards in hysterics. And then we see the body. That again is a moment of horror because it's someone we've really got to know.
Yes.
Whereas a lot of the others, we just peripherally known them.
Yes. And that's an issue you get when you've got a big cast of characters. It can be hard to get to know everybody.
Yeah.
And that adventure, it has about a dozen NPCs.
Which is hard for you as well.
Oh, yeah. And you'd got to know a lot of them, but not as many of them as well as I'd hoped.
And we didn't get to know them well. No, that's definitely yeah.
But it's one of those things. You can only take things so far.
Nice little stipend, I think. Though.
Yeah. So overall, verdict on Horror on the Orient Express.
I enjoyed it. We big long campaign like that. It's actually nice to play in one. And I said that's one of the best ones I've played in. So yeah.
Yeah, it had its ups and its downs.
It's
going on.
He's microwaved himself. Oh no,
it's the longest campaign. It's the longest campaign I've played in by far. It's not the only campaign I've played in, but no disrespect to any of the other GMs or any other games, but it's the best one.
Okay. Well, thank you for that.
It's been a hell of a ride.
I think personally, it's the most rewarding campaign I've ever run, but not just because of the material. It's because I had a committed group throughout the whole of it. I knew that.
And by the end of it, we should have been committed. Yes, yeah,
absolutely. But you as a group,
Well,
it's
not just
so
us,
much,
mate. It's you. You're a committed GM.
but you gave me so much to work with in terms of sometimes digging the story out of the mud when it. And I'd learnt enough about your characters to have come up with ways of dragging it back when it mattered, which was good. But no, I've never seen a product go into as much depth, as much detail. Sometimes unwanted levels of detail, and sometimes frustratingly missing bits of detail that you really wanted. To be so disjointed, but yet so intricate and clever at various points. As you say, there was that misdirection right at the very start. Right at the very start, you were being played. And I gave
no idea. We were taken for fools.
I gave it my own tweaks and flourishes. And I'm glad they worked. But for anyone who thinking about running it, just be aware of what you're getting yourself into. It will
expect a year and a half of your or 2 years of your life to go.
Yeah.
Yes. It will frustrate.
Hey, I was in my 20s when I started. I'm in my 30s when I finished. It's fucking long, let me tell you.
As a GM, it will frustrate you. It will annoy you. It will intrigue you. Your players will frustrate you, annoy you, and intrigue you. But it's worth it. It's one of those things where it is worth it. And I don't regret a moment. So
Good.
And what are we doing next in the new year?
It's one of those things that... Oh, go on.
Mountains of Madness, yeah.
That's for the new year. I'm going to do it all again. We are going to do it all again. It's an adventure, Jeb. Absolutely. It is indeed an adventure. And it's more than just an adventure in gaming terms. It's an adventure for everybody taking part. High points, low points.
Yep. Thank you.
Moments of despair, frustration, annoyance. What the fuck am I going to do here? How am I going to dig myself out of this? All that sort of stuff. All that happens over and over again, but it's satisfying. So, yeah, I'm going to do it all over again. I mean, give you an idea of the level of detail that's in this. Towards the back of the book, one of the appendices it's all the ship's manifests. People, stock, equipment, armaments, schedules, timetables. That's a big stats list of that particular plane in terms of capacity and range, and there's 3 or 4, 5, 6 more types of plane there, as well as types of boats. The detail this one goes into is absolutely obscene. So,
okay, this sounds very interesting, very detailed.
It's an expedition to the Antarctic.
Yeah.
A lot
It
of
is
different
detailed.
mechanics to explore.
Yeah. And there's multiple pages of NPCs here that I'm going to have to know all of them throughout the adventure, not just for each chapter, but all of them throughout the entirety of the adventure. Because they're on the ship, they're your crew, they're all the crew members and stuff.
Okay, we'll get to know them pretty well then.
For a short
hello.
time, at least, yeah.
Yeah, that's some of them. There are some. Yeah, I'm just gonna know all of them. So yeah, great, wonderful. It's about 10 pages of just NPC stats and personalities, maybe more than that.
You're looking forward to it, really, aren't you?
Absolutely. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. How many chapters is this one? 16.
Okay.
17 chapters, plus a prologue, plus 7 appendices. And to add to all of that, a map of Antarctica. So this is why I'm not starting it till the new year. I need to recover first.
Very juicy.
I need time to digest that. But we'll see how it goes. And it is a slow burner, proper slow burner.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
I'd only wanted to stream tonight for a couple of hours, and we have hit that couple of hour mark. So
Pumpkin time.
I think getting everything in within 2 hours, we did really well.
I think so, yeah. I think it paced that quite well. It's not been the busiest of streams. We have had a few people here chatting away. So thank you for those who popped by, and those who stayed with us. Thank you, Jeb, Cody, if you're still here or not. Manfred's certainly gone to bed. I know Halakar's headed home from work. Other people have popped in along the way. We had a Elfbait saying hello and Saxia saying hello. So thank you to people for popping by and joining us. Hopefully you've got if you wish to run Horror on the Orient Express at any point in your life, hopefully what we've talked about will help along with my review of it. If anyone ever wants to run it and wants to approach me for any ideas, any ways to deal with certain scenarios, I am here. I don't bite, not all the time. I'm happy to give tips, and I'm sure these two guys here would be the same.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
there's Roland, who played at the start of it and lost his character on the Doom Train. Hello, Roland. So yes, it's time to go. It's time to head. So I've got 2.5 days of work before I pack up all my things.
You know what that means?
Vericon.
It means I have to summon the Demi-Lich.
Yeah. Yep. So 2.5 days of work, and then I've got to pack all my stuff up, and I'm heading off on Monday to the wilds of Canada
and have fun.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully you'll be well
fun.
enough to consider making the trip next year, Andy.
Yeah. If I can get all this stupid things sorted out, and I'm in a condition to do so, absolutely. Yeah.
Iman, I shall stream again on Friday, and on Friday we're going to be doing a tier list with fighting fantasy books.
Oh yes.
Yeah,
that'll be fun.
I am streaming on Friday. I'm working 9 till 6:30 tomorrow, 9 till 6:30 and streaming Friday, and I'm working lunchtime till about 4:30 on Saturday. But then it's time to play. Right. I'm heading off. Thank you for joining me. Thank you, chat. Good
Pleasure.
night. Oh,
Yep.
good night. Thank you, fellas.
Cheers for having me.
Thank
Cheers for
you.
listening. Good night, all.
Bye.